Hi, sweetie pie. Here's another book. It's extremely hot today. It's going to reach 100 degrees, and it's not counting the humidity. 100 degrees, it's sunny, and it's humid, and it's hot. So let's read a book about poems of the frozen north, polar bear, Arctic hare, by Ellen Spinelli, illustrations by Eugenie Fernandes. Polar bear family. I'm going to show you these beautiful pictures. The little bears with their mom. One's on the mom's back. See the water, the snow, and the blue ice. Polar bear mama moves with grace to find a sheltered winter place. She digs a snow cave, wide and deep, where she and baby cubs can sleep. Come spring, the cubs set out for fun. They romp all day in the Arctic sun. They slip and slide, they race and roam. Then, weary, ride their mama home. I like that poem. These are beautiful pictures. A little bee, the bumblebee, and the birds, and the grasses, and the terns. Gentle orange, golden bumblebee. The Arctic bumblebee can sting if it so has a mind to. Although it's rather nice to know, it seldom seems inclined to. I like that one. I like when they play with sentences and word order and make it sort of sing a little bit. The Arctic bumblebee can sting if it so has a mind to. Although it's rather nice to know, it seldom seems inclined to. Snowbirds. Are those giant snowflakes? No, those are buntings flying low, seeking seeds in melting snow. Oh, so pretty buntings. We don't have this kind of bunting here. We occasionally see the indigo bunting, but there's a painted bunting that's in warmer places, and then there's this, I don't know if the other word in front of bunting, how it specifies it, but this is obviously one that lives in cold places. Are those giant snowflakes? No, those are buntings flying low, seeking seeds in melting snow. Oh, so pretty buntings. When we had snow here a lot this winter, or any winter, I scatter sometimes some seeds on the top of the snow, and then the little birds can have that. The ones that don't go to feeders, or the ones that prefer to eat off the ground, have it. And then when the snow comes again, it covers it. When it melts, it exposes it a little bit, and it's and the birds do this. They sort of look for the sunflowers under the snow. I sometimes will pick my plants when they're finished, and I will leave them on the grass for a little bit before I either take the seeds off or put them in the compost or whatever. Well, I must have done that with an old zinnia seed, because there was a young, healthy zinnia growing right up out of the grass. So I moved it to the garden so when it mowed, it wouldn't get killed. champion traveler. Birds are champion travelers in some amazing feats of distances that they go. Arctic tern, wings unfurled, flies halfway around the world. From the South Pole to the North, chasing summer back and forth. Fast birds, slow birds, big birds, small. Arctic tern outflies them all. It basically goes from one end of the earth to the other. It goes from the North Pole to the South Pole and back again. Oh my. Arctic tern, wings unfurled, flies halfway around the world. From the South Pole to the North, chasing summer back and forth. Fast birds, slow birds, big birds, small. Arctic tern outflies them all. This is a very nice book. Arctic sun. I was watching a really interesting show yesterday about the upper levels of the Rocky Mountains near where your mom went to school. And they were showing the different, levels. The ponderosa pine, and then it went up. It was a different kind of pine, loblolly, I think. And then it went higher. And it was really interesting because they showed the wildflowers that will bloom in July, but they'll get a snow in July. Frequently at night it will snow because the temperature drops so much. It's such an extreme from day to night. And they pointed out that it's harder for those plants to live there than for some Arctic, for them to live in the actual Arctic, because in the Arctic in summer it's almost round the clock sunshine. They don't have darkness and the extreme drop in temperature that comes when darkness comes in those very cold places. So the Arctic regions in Rocky Mountain National Park are going to get more severe changes because of that nearly constant. They don't have the constant sunshine that way further north in the Arctic does. Of course, winters in the Arctic, oh boy, when it's dark almost all the time, that would be hard. When you were little, you asked, and your uncle Martin, who lives in Florida, you said, how do you know when to light the Shabbat candles when you're in a place where you don't have sunset and it's not the regular kind of sunset, or it's twilight sort of for much of the night? Interesting question for a little child to ask. Mother of Isaac, friend of Isaac, niece of Isaac. Okay, let's face it. Okay, back to the book. Arctic sun. In early June, the Arctic sun illuminates the day. It spangles melting ice and lingering snow. It sparkles on the wings of glaucous gull, who's come to nest and watch her babies grow. Glaucous, that's a good word. Have to look it up. In early June, the Arctic sun holds to the sky and plays the part of moon throughout the night. It shimmers on the dreams of Arctic hare and splashes sleepy weasel with its light. So that's what it's talking about, is that it doesn't say it plays the part of moon throughout the night. How interesting. It shimmers on the dreams of Arctic hare and splashes sleepy weasel with its light. Okay, I was reading that and looking at, now I'm going to let you see the pictures. And how this sort of the way the moon travels across the sky, the sun does too. We don't notice it as much because we don't look at the sun the way we can look at the moon. There's a tern or a gull of some kind. But here down you can see the weasel and the hare, the rabbit, and the flowers, the yellow flowers. Arctic poppy, fragile gold, seeds itself in Arctic cold, gleams in sunlight, scents the breeze, beckons butterflies and bees. Blooms, but not for very long. Short and sweet, the poppy song. I have poppies in my garden, not as many as this, unfortunately. And it bloomed for one day this year. One day. You wait for 364 and you have one day of bloom. Not always. I think sometimes it might be a few days, but it's not a long blooming one like zinnias or something like that. I'm going to read the one about Arctic sun again because I think I was digressing from that. In early June, the Arctic sun illuminates the day. It spangles melting ice and lingering snow. It sparkles on the wings of glaucous gulls, which I read this wrong. I'm sorry. I'm going to start over. In early June, the Arctic sun illuminates the day. It spangles melting ice and lingering snow. It sparkles on the wings of glaucous gull who's come to nest and watch her babies grow. In early June, the Arctic sun holds to the sky and plays the part of moon throughout the night. It shimmers on the dreams of Arctic hare, who splashes sleepy weasel with its light. And splashes. I have to put my glasses back on or something, because the rabbit doesn't splash the weasel. The sun is splashing the weasel with its light. Sorry about that. I'll turn that time for another one or two. Arctic nursery rhyme. Oh, these are some beautiful Arctic flowers. Lupins grow well in more northern places. We're a little bit too warm for lupins. Arctic tundra, how does your garden grow? With lupin seeds and fire weeds and bearberries all in a row. That's beautiful. Beautiful little poem and beautiful pictures. Racing the peregrine falcon. That is a bird. That is a bird intent on getting its next meal, and it's a hunter. I almost said like you until I realized I'm not reading to Malcolm. I'm reading to little Isaac. Racing the peregrine falcon. Faster than a school bus, faster than a hare, faster than a race car, faster than a bear, faster than a cheetah. That the awesome peregrine. I think I'll save my running shoes for races I can win. Yes, indeed. Sounds like that peregrine falcon is fast indeed. If it can outrun a cheetah, which I think is the fastest animal. Obviously not the fastest flyer, but the fastest maybe land animal. I'm not sure, but it's certainly one of the fastest. Oh yeah, there's time. Caribou. Those are some beautiful antlers. And a beautiful herd. Oh my. Little yawn there. Across the tundra, caribou coming, racing and chasing, caribou coming, thrumming and drumming, caribou coming, romping and stomping, caribou coming, hammering, clamoring, caribou coming, thundering, rumbling, caribou coming, in waves, cascades, caribou coming and coming and coming and coming. They are coming. Safe and warm. Arctic winter finds the lemming tunneling under snow unseen, deep away from prowling owl, until the willow leaves turn green. I've never seen a lemming, except on nature shows. I wouldn't have even really known what that was if they didn't tell me. I'll have to learn more about that animal. Deep away from prowling out, indeed. Small animals in that kind of terrain where there's no real place to hide other than underground. It's good to have a hole that you can dive into. Beluga. It's a little whale. Look at the polar bears. Beluga, trapped beneath the ice, rams his head against it twice. The ice gives way. Beluga crashes upward as the dark sea splashes. He takes a mighty gulp of air. He bumps a startled polar bear. He interrupts some seals at play. Then, satisfied, he swims away. Beluga. He cracked it himself. That's how he got out. He cracked it himself under the ice. He rammed his head against it twice. Rude awakening. If you should awaken Arctic walrus, be prepared for quite a flap. Usually a peaceful fellow. Nothing makes him fuss or bellow like an interrupted nap. Rude awakening. These are great pictures and these are great poems. This is a great book. Arctic bear. No, polar bear, Arctic hare. I'll read that one again. Rude awakening. If you should awaken Arctic walrus, be prepared for quite a flap. Usually a peaceful fellow. Nothing makes him fuss or bellow like an interrupted nap. Good cadence. Good everything. Oh gosh, I misread the time without my glasses. Let me turn this off and we can read more.